The last thing my mother expected when she called me that morning was for me to tell the truth. "Lenora," she said, voice bubbling with fake excitement, "your sister's wedding will be perfect. So, when's your turn?" I paused for a heartbeat, enough to let her hope bloom, then said softly, "It already happened." Her silence on the other end was louder than any argument we'd ever had. Before we move ahead, tell me in the comments where you're watching this from, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I'm here with a brand new episode every single day, just for you. "You what?" she finally breathed. "You got married without us? To who?" Her voice cracked like glass. I could almost hear her emotions twist, not because she felt left out, but because she felt left behind. I stared out my apartment window, the skyline glowing pale gold against the morning fog, and smiled faintly. 2 months ago. Small ceremony. No guests. "You can't be serious," she hissed. "Do you even realize what this will do to your sister's image? She's getting married in a month. You could have waited." Waited. That word had haunted me my whole life. Wait for validation. Wait for approval. Wait for them to notice that I wasn't the family's disappointment anymore. They still thought I was the same girl who once borrowed subway money and cried over rejection letters. They had no idea that I'd quietly built 2 companies, paid off my student loans, and bought the very building I used to rent from. "Mom," I said, still calm, "you only care because I didn't invite a photographer." There was a sharp inhale from her side. "Lenora, I don't like your tone. This isn't about us. It's about family." "Exactly," I replied, my voice steady now. "It's always about your version of family." I could hear glasses clinking in the background, pre-wedding chaos, laughter, celebration. I'd been erased from that picture years ago, but they were about to learn that some stories can't stay buried, because my wedding, the one no one knew about, wasn't the secret they needed to be afraid of. The real shock would come when they discovered who I married. My mother called again within 15 minutes, twice. I didn't answer. When the 3rd call came, I sighed and picked up. Her tone had shifted from disbelief to damage control. "Lenora, you can fix this," she said quickly. "We can announce your marriage at your sister's engagement dinner tonight. Make it look intentional. People love surprises." "Mom, it was intentional," I said, sliding my wedding ring around my finger. A simple white gold band, no diamonds, no theatrics, the opposite of anything she'd pick. Before she could argue, another voice chimed in on speaker. My sister. "Lenny, I'm trying to understand. You secretly got married? To who?" She sounded calm, but I knew that tone. It was the way she spoke to assistants she planned to fire. "To someone who actually liked the real me," I said quietly. She laughed, a cold, rehearsed sound. Sure, mystery man. I just hope he's not, embarrassing. My wedding's already under so much attention." "Don't worry," I said, smiling to myself. "He'll fit in just fine." Because my sister Amelia didn't know the one thing that could burn her polished world to ashes. The man I married used to be her ex-fiancé. We met after she dumped him for a billionaire's son she claimed was better for the brand. He and I crossed paths by accident, or maybe fate. He was quiet, frustrated, and still loved her for who she used to be. But I wasn't interested in revenge then. It just happened. Slowly, naturally, truthfully. By the time we realized what we had, Amelia had already sent out her save the dates. At 7 p.m., I walked into the family mansion for dinner, something I swore I'd never do again. Chandeliers, white roses, all that money just to show off. The same people who once whispered I was wasting potential now smiled when they saw the designer clutch I carried. Amelia floated toward me in a shimmering gown, her fiancé, a smug tech investor named Brandon, glued to her side. "Lenora, you came, finally acting like a supportive sister," she said, all teeth and sugar. "Always," I smiled, handing her a small gift bag. Inside wasn't what she thought. Mother appeared behind her, that polished smile plastered on. "Now remember, behave tonight. Cameras everywhere. We'll talk about your husband later, okay?" I nodded. "Of course. But actually, Mom, I don't think you have to wait." She blinked. "What do you mean?" I turned toward the entrance, heart pounding as the doors opened. The room fell into whispers when he walked in. Tall, confident, wearing the same gentle smile that had once been reserved for my sister. Amelia's face drained of color. "You," she whispered. "Me," he said softly. And for what it's worth, I didn't come here to cause drama. But the truth had already hit everyone like glass shattering on marble. My mother's perfect wedding was starting to fall apart, and I hadn't even told them the biggest secret yet. The one thing that would turn their judgment into panic. The hum of whispers echoed across the hall like static breaking through music. I could feel every gaze drifting between me, my sister, and the ring on my hand that gleamed under the chandelier light. Amelia's lip trembled as she forced a smile for the guests. "Everyone, this must be some kind of misunderstanding," she said through her teeth. Brandon slid an uncomfortable glance my way, muttering, "I thought you said he moved out of the country." "He did," she hissed, still smiling. "Apparently, he came back married to my sister." Before we go any further, tell me in the comments where you're watching from, and make sure to subscribe to the channel, because I bring a new story every day that will keep you hooked till the end. My mother grasped my wrist, her nails digging lightly into my skin. "Lenora, we will talk outside. Now," she whispered sharply. But I didn't move. I wasn't hiding this time. "Actually," I said clearly enough for half the room to hear, "I think we should talk right here, since everyone always loves a family story." Amelia's eyes flashed. "Don't you dare embarrass me tonight." I turned toward her, steady and calm. "Embarrassment isn't the goal, clarity is." Guests shifted uncomfortably. A waiter froze mid-pour. "You know what's funny?" I said softly. "You spent months calling me a failure, said no one could love someone like me, but the man you threw away because he didn't fit your image turned out to be my perfect match." Someone in the back stifled a gasp. Even Dad, the man who rarely looked up from his phone, raised his head in disbelief. Amelia blinked rapidly, her practiced elegance cracking. "You stole him from me," she snapped. I laughed. "You can't steal someone who was already given away. You just made it easy." Brandon stepped between us, half annoyed, half fascinated by the drama unraveling in front of all those cameras. But he had no idea his turn was coming too. I held up the small gift bag I'd given earlier. "Before you make more assumptions," I said, "why don't you open this, Amelia?" Reluctantly, she pulled out the envelope inside. It wasn't jewelry or photos. It was a thin set of documents stamped in gold ink. "What is this?" she demanded. "The business license for AM." "Bridal designs," I said evenly. She frowned in confusion. "That's your company name," my mother snapped, reaching over her shoulder. "It was," I corrected, "until last month." Realization hit Amelia too slowly. She reread the first page, then the last line, where my signature replaced hers. Her hand trembled, and the paper fluttered to the floor. "You bought my company?" she whispered. "Bought?" I tilted my head. "No, Amelia. You sold it. You just didn't realize who you were selling to." Gasps rippled through the crowd. My mother's palm flew to her chest. Amelia stood frozen, her perfect night collapsing in real time. Still, I wasn't finished, because there was one final thing she needed to hear, something that would change the way everyone in that hall looked at her forever. The room went so quiet that even the violinist stopped mid-note. The documents fluttered to the floor at Amelia's heels, the sound of paper too loud in a place built for applause. For the first time, I saw my sister with nothing to say. "I didn't steal your company," I said softly. "You gave it up to cover debts you didn't want Mom and Dad to find out about. You sold it under a fake name. You didn't bother to check who was behind the buyer's account. That was me." My father pushed his chair back, voice clipped. "What debts?" Amelia's eyes darted to the guests, desperate to hold on to her collapsing smile. "Dad, please." "You took investment money meant for the floral division and spent it on personal loans," I said gently. "The auditors emailed last week." My mother whispered, "Tell me she's lying." I looked around at all of them, the same faces that once called me a burden, now silent. "Isn't it strange?" I said quietly. "All I did was work hard in peace. I never wanted to fight. I just wanted freedom. But every lie you stacked against me built the ladder that got me here." Amelia's shoulders sagged. "Why would you do this to your own sister?" "Because you spent years convincing me I was less than you," I answered. "And one day, I realized you were just afraid I'd stop believing it." No one moved. Even Brandon, the man engaged to a woman who had tried to control everyone, looked almost relieved. "Maybe," he said, "you both need time apart." Then quietly to me, "For what it's worth, you deserved better long before we ever met." I just nodded. We both did. I turned to leave. Behind me, the weight of gossip bubbled up again. Low murmurs, phones clicking, guests whispering that nothing about this family was ever real. Outside, the air felt sharp and clean. The fairy-light glow from the windows shimmered across wet pavement, not nearly as dazzling as the quiet peace setting in inside me. A car door opened, my husband waiting, calm as ever. "You ready?" he asked. I smiled for the first time that night. "Finally," he laughed. "You could have told them sooner." "And ruin their show?" I said, sliding into the seat. "Never." From the hill above the mansion, music floated back to us, a scene scrambling to fix itself before the cameras rolled again. I watched it fade into the distance. Sometimes revenge doesn't need fireworks or shouting. Sometimes it's just walking away while the truth burns quietly behind you. And that night, under the same lights that once made me feel small, I learned the sweetest part of revenge is never destruction. It's freedom.